key teachings that comes out of this pastime is the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Right? So all of you in various sessions that you are attending, so one key component, is the chanting the names of the Lord. Right? So the session topics keeps changing. But then the same chanting, the same tune may be changing, but then same kirtan, the same Hare Krishna mantra is chanted. So why is it so? Why so much of importance is given to this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra? So this is something that we will try to understand today, and this pastime in itself will actually highlight this particular important subject. So about the subject of chanting. So now this pastime appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a very amazing literature which progressively introduces the science of Krishna consciousness, the science about God, and this subject progresses like this. So it is very difficult to give the whole introduction right from the beginning. But just before this pastime happens, why did this pastime at all is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam? So there is, in the course of describing various things of this universe, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami, he actually explains about different kinds of hellish existence that are there. So, like if there is a place that is there, so that place will be governed by certain rules and regulations. And like the governance, generally speaking, governance means two things that are there. One is like the people who follow the rules and regulations, they are rewarded, and people who don't follow the rules and regulations, what should be done with them? Punished. So reward and punishment. So this is the way of governance. And when the universal governance is being spoken about, so the Vedic principles are there, the rules and regulations are there. So those who are following that, so there is a certain reward that they get, and those who don't follow it, so they also get punishment. And how do they get punishment? So this one form is that the hellish planets, like people are taken to the hellish planets, and the description of these hellish planets are quite hellish, obviously, because it is hellish planets, So like people are fried in the oil, or there are places where people are put in very, very hot platform, So the surface of the earth or the platform over there is like made of very, very solid metal, and then it is the sun is like thousands of times more scorching than what is there, what we have an experience of the sun, and a person is made to walk over there, and for various different sins that he has performed, he has to go through different kinds of reactions. If somebody performs illicit sex, there is a particular reason. If somebody does intoxication, so then there is some kind of a punishment where molten metal is poured into the mouth of that person. And in the hellish condition, they will not die. The problem is like they'll be given a certain kind of a body. The body is just like a shirt, right? So Vasham Shijinani Yata Vihaya. So this body is just like a shirt. So they will be given that kind of a body which will not die, but which is only meant for experiencing the pain. Yatna Sharir, they tell that. So in this way, like these descriptions are going on. And the hearer of the Srimad Bhagavatam is Parikshit Maharaj. He's a very great devotee. He's a very great devotee. And devotees generally they have very soft heart. So they they find it very difficult to see the pain of others. Paradukka dukhi. This is one of the quality of a devotee. So like generally what happens, like if somebody is going through some difficult time, so the other person may go and say, hey, tumhara karma hai. So, yeah, definitely it is because of his karma, but that's not the point to be mentioned at this time. So here we see a great soul like Parikshit Maharaj. So what is he actually contemplating? So definitely he knows that it is because of their karma, they are suffering. So his question to Shukadeva Goswami is, how can we save them? So how can we actually protect them from falling into such hellish conditions? So like this is the question that is put, and Shukadeva Goswami is answering to it. He's telling that, see, before you die, you should find all the sins that you have performed, and you should do some prayaschitta for it. If you have effectively done prayaschitta for all your sins, So then, the job is done, so you will not have to see the hell. So then, Parikshit Maharaj, puts a counter question. Like Gurudev, you're telling this kind of an answer. So, but then we have seen so many people, like, they lose prayaschitta, and the next moment again they start performing some sinful activities. So in India, like, there is so many avenues where you can destroy the sins. Anybody can name some of the avenues where you can destroy the sins? Some of the methods of destroying the sins?
Taking bath in water.
Ganga Snan, amazing, yeah, Ganga Snan. Tirth Yatra, okay. What else?
Mala.
Huh?
Mala. Mala.
Mala, okay. Mala, okay. Mala, Mala. Mala jamne hota hai. Yeah.
Chanting any mantra.
Chanting mantras, going to holy places, taking bath in the holy rivers, and I think one of the rivers name is Papanashini, right? So Payasvini, then Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, so many different rivers are there. So any of these rivers, if somebody takes bath, all his sins gets destroyed. So it's so amazing, but still people go to hell. Why is it so? What is the reason? So they get washed off and again they get dirty. So and Parikshit Maharaj gives an example that it is like Kunjara Sauchavat. So Kunjara means elephant, Saucha means to take bath. So it's just like an elephant taking bath. Elephant may be taking bath for 1 hour, 2 hours, around say and then it will come out of the water and then throw mud on itself, right? So it is something like that. This atonement is not going to help, because it is not, making people immune to committing sinful activities, So they are going to again commit sinful activities. So this doesn't seem to be like very solid proposition, Just you find out all the sins and find out the appropriate prayaschitta for all the sins, and you perform the prayaschitta, then you will be safe. It seems to be like very improbable, because even after doing prayaschitta again and again and again, so the person keeps committing sin. Kitna prayaschitta karenge? So life mein aur kuch karne ka hai nahi hai. So like so many things like are there to do. So then this doesn't work. So then Shukadev Goswami also acknowledges, you're an intelligent disciple, you found that this is not a right thing. So this material activity or the sinful activity is fruitive in nature. Fruitive means what? Anybody can say what is fruitive? Fruitive. Fruitive means mera kya laabh hai. So fruitive means it's not swartha. It comes to the point of swartha. Niswartha matlab not fruitive. So this sinful activities are in themselves swartha, and then the prayaschitta is also centered upon swartha. It's selfishness. So how can one selfish activity be countered by another selfish activity? It is not possible. So you are an intelligent disciple. You caught this point that this is not going to work. So definitely it is not going to neutralize the effect of the sin. So then what is the solution? The solution is knowledge. So like Shukadeva Goswami gives this answer that the solution is knowledge. So what does it mean by knowledge? So in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned there are 20 different elements of knowledge that is mentioned. So that is amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, acharya, pasanam, saucham, like that many different elements are there. So practice of these elements, like being patient, being tolerant, controlling of the senses, doing all these elements of knowledge, a person actually develops knowledge. Okay, so before we discuss what do you mean by knowledge, your understanding of knowledge. Getting information, okay, nice. Any other meaning of knowledge?
Realizing what's happening in the real world.
Realizing what's happening in the real world, okay, that's good. Any other answers for knowledge? Getting information from right source.
Literal meaning of knowledge is just information, but knowledge in the sense actually means that what is the reality behind what is appearing.
Yeah, what's the reality? No, trying to understand what's the reality. So these are very nice answers that we have got. So in the Vedic system, it is mentioned that tamasoma jyotirgama. Like from darkness we have to go to light, right? So how many of you think we are in darkness now? This light is there, sun is there, and this bulbs and all these things are there. Still, you think like we are in darkness? What is that darkness?
Mentally what you feel inside. That's what
Mentally, what you are feeling, okay? What is the darkness? Ignorance. Ignorance of the reality of existence. So the reality of existence is that everything that exists belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishavashamidam sarvam yatkincham jagatyam jagat tena taktena bunjitam agavakasasundam. So this, everything that exists, whether animate or inanimate, whether moving or non-moving, everything actually belongs to the Supreme God, right? And then that means we also belong to the Supreme God, and like we are meant to be engaged in the service of the Supreme God. So just like if I have a possession, if somebody else takes this possession and uses it, so then what is it called? Like he has stolen it. So like that, if everything that exists belongs to the Lord, so everything should ideally be engaged in the service of the Lord. And now from this, can you define sin? What is sin? Anyone gets hurt, activity by which anyone gets harmed. But having the definition of knowledge.
Any action which violates the rule of the nature or which destroys the nature's creation.
Okay, any action that violates the rule of nature, that's a very precise definition. But in reference to what we have discussed now, everything that exists belongs to God and everything should be used in His service. Yeah, so you're taking Lord's property and using it for ourselves. So that is sin. Like Lord's property must be used in Lord's service. Your property should be used in your service. Unfortunately, you don't have any property. so all property belongs to God, and everything should be used in His service, right? So that is this one. So then, apne liye kya hai? What is there for us? So then, this is also nicely answered in the Vedic scriptures. So, just like watering the root of the tree, like all the tree gets nourished. In the same way, just by offering service to Krishna, so everybody becomes satisfied because he's just like the moola, he's just like the root of the tree. And then just like stomach, if you put food to the stomach, like sab jahan pe like the energy gets reached, right? So in the same way, by serving the Supreme Lord, you will get like yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. So just by satisfying the Supreme Lord, the whole creation becomes satisfied. So in that way, like if we really want to be like happy, if somebody is really a swarthi, real swarthi, so then he will render service to the Supreme Lord. Nate vidu swartha gatim ki Vishnu. So it is mentioned in the scriptures that people don't know the real swartha is service to Vishnu. Because that is what actually can satisfy us. So this is knowledge. Knowledge means to see everything as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Everything as connected to the Supreme Lord. So then what is ignorance? Ignorance means to see something separate from the Supreme Lord. So what is this mic all about? Oh, this is an element that is there and it is meant for my happiness. It's meant for my enjoyment. Some food stuff. It is meant for my enjoyment. Like probably the opposite sex. And we say, oh, this is meant for my enjoyment. So like this is called ignorance. We are seeing something separate from the Lord, and we are seeing that thing could possibly, like engage in satisfying my senses. So that is called ignorance. So when we see everything as part and parcel of the Lord, and everything is meant to be engaged in service of the Lord, so that is called knowledge. So this knowledge, to some extent, can be practiced by the way of this practice of controlling of the senses, practice of ahimsa, shanti, tolerance, arjavam, these kind of things, when it is practiced. So then there is a possibility of cultivating knowledge. This knowledge, jnana badhta hai. no, then we can see things in reality, no, not just information, so practical reality, no, practical experience, no, that actually happens. So now, Shukadeva Goswami tells this aspect of cultivation of knowledge, no, which includes a very, very rigorous practice, no, of one is study of scriptures is there, and apart from that, there is very rigorous practice of austerities are there. So, but then, like this is also not a very solid argument for destroying the sins. Definitely, it can destroy the sins, but how is the destruction of sins by the practice of knowledge, happens? That is explained through an analogy of burning of the forest. When during the summer season, so just like that, when two trees rub, with each other, some sparks generate, and then in the summer season there is nice dry leaves are there in the forest. So it is a very, very conducive, scenario for a good forest fire. So a very good forest fire actually starts, and when forest fire starts, sometimes kilometers and kilometers gets destroyed. So that's how powerful the forest fires are. So it's quite difficult to put off the forest fire on its own. किधर भी जाके टकरा के रुक जाएगा. And so like that, the forest fires actually burn everything. But then, what's the problem? There is the roots still there, beneath the ground. And the next rainy season when it comes, again the roots actually, sprout. So like in the same way, this practice of knowledge also cannot completely destroy the sin. It can effectively destroy the sinful reactions, but then the tendency to commit the sin is still not getting destroyed. So what is this one? So at that point, Shukadeva Goswami actually gives an amazing shloka. He tells, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana aham dunvanti katsnena niharameva bhaskara. So it is, he mentions that Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. So just by performing bhakti towards the Supreme Lord, then Vasudeva Parayana, so that is the Vasudeva is the Supreme Lord. Aham Dunvanti. Aham means the sinful reactions. Dunvanti means to cleansing. Katsnena. Niharameva Bhaskara. So how does it happen? Just like Niharam means fog. All of you know fog? Early morning, it is like in your bikes or in the cars, like you'll find that fog water is there. And just Bhaskara, what is Bhaskara? Sun. When the sun rises, the fog automatically gets dissipated. So in the same way, when a person performs Kevala Bhakti, when a person performs serious devotional service, so then the sin becomes completely destroyed. How is it possible? Because everything that exists belongs to the Lord, and the definition of bhakti is to use the senses in the service of the Lord, is to use all the things that are available to us in the service of the Lord. So when everything is used in the service of the Lord, the root of sin itself is cut. What's the root of the sin? Root of the sin is the Lord's property used in something else. Instead of using it in Lord's service, it's used for something else. So that is the definition of sin. And when a person actually engages in bhakti, so then automatically, the sin is completely destroyed. So this is what Shukadeva Goswami actually tells, that this is like really very powerful. And then he also mentions another very amazing shloka. So Sakrin Mana Krishna Padara Vendayor Niveshitam Tat Punaragi Yerniha Nathe Yamam Pasha Brihacha Tat Bratan Swapnevi Pashyanhi Chiran Nisprita. So he mentions that if somebody performs bhakti, if somebody actually remembers, Sakrin Mana Krishna Padara, even for some time, if he remembers, the Supreme Lord's lotus feet, so then what happens? Like Yama Pasha, even Swapnevi Pashyanti. So he doesn't see the order carriers of Yamaraj, even in the dreams. That is the power of remembering the Lord even for a moment. So even in the dreams, he doesn't come across the servants of the Yamaraj, or the Yamapasha. He doesn't see this thing. So this is the power of devotion. So when a person executes the devotional service, so then it becomes very, very powerful. So what do we mean by devotional service? What if it is performed, we can call it as devotional service? Bhakti kya hota hai? One thing is just mentioned in the shloka itself. What if we done? What if it is done? We will not see Yamaraj's servants remembering him. So remembering is definitely one of the devotional service. That is one of the elements of bhakti. What else is there?
Surrendering everything to Lord.
Association.
Surrendering everything to God.
Association में क्या करते हैं हम लोग? Serving. Pada sevanam is also one thing. Smaranam is one thing. Two things are there. Hearing about the Lord. Reading also comes to the hearing aspect only. It's a recorded hearing. So, and speaking about the Lord, like speaking about the Lord, hearing about Him, remembering Him, rendering service to Him, and proper food, taking of prasadam, so that is also devotional service to the Lord, right? So in this way, like when we perform this devotional service, it becomes really very powerful. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So this is when Prahlad was asked about how did you actually become a devotee and what is that you have learned? So then he mentions, in the school, what did you learn? So he mentions these things. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu's Bhaktis Chainava Lakshanam. He mentions that these are the 9 different ways in which you can actually perform the devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Right? So, in this way, we should try to perform these elements. And if we perform this, if we chant the names of the Lord, if we remember Him, if we speak about Him, and if we render some service to Him just for His pleasure, so then what happens, even in the dreams, even the wildest of possibility, you will never find Yamaraj servants coming close to you. That's a good news, right? So, maybe many of you would have not considered that to be a big problem at all, because, the problems of this world is something different. What we are convinced of. So, but then the real problems of life is that Yamaraj ko nahi dekhte. So here, Shukadeva Goswami, just to substantiate this statement that he has just made, he actually tells a story. That story is of the Ajamil. So in the story of Ajamil, he mentions that this Ajamil was a Brahmana before. So, but then now he is a very bad dacoit, and he is a maintainer of a prostitute. And he was doing all kind of murders and dacoity and things like that. And then he was maintaining a prostitute. And in the prostitute, he begot 10 children. And somehow or other, he has named the last child of his. He was 88 years of age at that point in time, and he had a very small baby. You can imagine, he's engaged in sexual activity even till the fag end of his life. And he was doing all kinds of nonsensical activity. But then he has somehow or other, he has named his last son as Narayan, because of his past. He was a Brahmana before, before getting bad like this. So maybe because of that, he has named his son as Narayan. And he was every day he was calling, hey Narayan, come here, eat this food, drink this water. He was, for everything he was calling his son, Narayan, Narayan, like that. So generally the smallest, the youngest, children, they get the most love, correct, no? The youngest brother gets the most love. So that's the general this one. And here Ajamil was very much affectionate towards this youngest child. And he was, in a day, hundreds and thousands of times he was chanting the names of Narayan. Right? So, sometimes, some of the devotees, they mention that maybe some devotees would have come home and then they would have named the child as Narayan and went, iska paas to mala wala nahi pakadega ye. So FOE mein aake nahi baithega. And because of the dacoity karne wala, wo kya karne wala. So he will never be able to chant the names of the Lord. तो बेटा है उसका बेटा का नाम नारायण कर दिया तो डेली जप करते रहेगा. So maybe it could have happened like that. We don't know. The scriptures doesn't mention that. So but somehow or other, by some good fortune, that is, the child's name was named as Narayan, and so by some good fortune he was chanting every day, this holy names of Narayan. So then what happened? At one day he was approaching his death, and he was in his deathbed, And no, it is the history is like that. No, he has performed so many sinful activities. It is quite natural that Yamadutas came. No, three Yamadutas came. So it is mentioned that we have three facilities. No, Kaya, Vacha, and Manasa. No, body, speech, and the mind. No, these are the three primary elements through which we can actually perform some activity. No, through the body, through the speech, and through the mind. So through all these three things, no, without any exception, he has performed sinful activities. No, right in the thought, in the speech, in the body. No, through the body. No, he has performed. So like इसके लिए like तीन लोग आते हैं. No, पकड़ के जाने के लिए. So Yamaraj, no, Yamaduts. And then when these people come, so then Ajamil is in lot of anxiety, and then he very loudly calls out, his son's name. That is the thing which is very much attached to. So it is mentioned that Ante Narayana Smriti. Like the life's goal is to remember Narayana at the end of the life. And if you remember Narayana, what will happen? You will not be able. You will not see the order carriers of Yamaraj. You will not see the Yamadutas. So, but then it is not easy to just remember. So, I cannot plan saying that full life मजा करूँगा. Just last में remember करना है ना. तो उसके लिए अभी से क्यों रखना है? So पूरा अच्छे से life enjoy करेंगे and last में जाकर याद कर लेंगे भगवान का. क्या जाता है? So why to waste so much of time? We have to be very efficient in our activity. So it should be like what needs. How much of time is needed for which activity, we should allocate that much. So अंते नारायण स्मृति मतलब अंत में देख लेंगे. But the problem is, so in the last moment of the life, whatever we are attached to very deeply, only that we will be able to remember. So we will not be able to remember things that we are casually doing things and things like that. We will not be able to remember. Only things that we are very, very deeply attached to. Those things only we can remember. You can just see, when right from your childhood, very early childhood and things like that. What all things you remember about your past? So either some things where you got nice appreciation, nice good feelings you got, और कोई अच्छे से पिटाई किया आपको. So like you have some bad incidents or some good incidents. So something which made a deep impact in you, only that you can remember. So otherwise, like simple day-to-day activities, so many things you would have done, you will not be able to remember those things. It is not possible to remember those things. So here, fortunately, Ajamil was so much attached to his son, and his son's name was Narayan. He was calling out, for everything he used to call his son's name, Narayan, Narayan. So like, he was calling out, hey Narayan, please come, like that. He was intensely calling, very deep pain. So it is actually mentioned when the servants of Yamaraj come. So they actually have a very special rope, Yama Pasha. So when they put the rope, so they actually can tie the soul and they can actually drag the soul outside the body. It's very, very painful. It is mentioned that 40,000 or 60,000 scorpions fighting at the same time. How many of you have got an experience of one scorpion bite? No. So, but okay, like two of you are there. How was it? It was paining, no? Very, very bad pain. How was your experience? Today morning we found one baby scorpion in our temple. So because बाजू में जंगल है, सांप और बिच्छू ये सब आते रहते हैं. So that's here also, like when we were staying here. So now it is very developed place. But then when we came here, so we used to be there, and then mosquitoes and snakes and frogs also used to be there. So these are the things. And one time, one of my colleague, he wanted to take bath. He removed a gamcha from some cloth line, and inside snake was there. With gamcha, snake also came. But आपने ऐसे नहीं है. आप निश्चित बैठ सकते हैं. Like first floor में भी है. Like ज़्यादा tension नहीं है. So this what is that? So much painful situation it is. When the soul is removed from the body, it is really, really very painful. And Ajamil was going through that pain, and with that intense pain, without any other, without knowing any other shelter, any other way to get out of, when he was intensely calling out the name of his son, so that happens to be Narayan, the Supreme Lord's name. So that name actually triggered like immediately the Vishnu Dutas actually came. Somebody is calling out our master's name, so immediately they came and they told the Yamadutas, no, stop, no, what nonsense you people are doing. No? So like then the Yamadutas say like, no, who are you guys? No, we have never faced any problem anytime. No, we are free to go anywhere, no, on the order of Yamaraj, and whomever he nominates saying that this soul has to be brought, they have to be brought. No, he is Dharmaraj. No, everybody follows his instructions. No, he is the ultimate controller of the Dharma. And who are you people? No, you people are looking very beautiful and very effulgent. No, your body is actually emanating light. And then you have, no, you seem to be like very, very pious people. No, so piety, like one of the symptoms of the piety is Shri, beauty, and then like nice stages and things like that. No, that shows that they are sinless people actually. So now, these people are very tejasvis, the Vishnu Dutas, and they are telling that you stop from arresting this person. So then Yamadutas actually question back, saying that you people look to be like a very pious people. You people look to be like very dharmic people. So, but why are you supporting adharma? This guy is a criminal. We are police. We have come to arrest. कौन सा ऐसा सज्जन होता है कि बोलते हैं कि criminal को arrest नहीं करें. So this is like completely adharma. Why are you people speaking about adharma? So we are following the instruction of Dharmaraj and we are doing dharma, and you people are trying to support an adharmic person and trying to encourage us to do adharma. So why are you doing this? So then Vishnu Duta says, okay, you are servant of Dharmaraj, then tell what is dharma. Who's to be punished, who's not to be punished. सब जो भी पाप करते हैं सबको दंड देना चाहिए, किसी को exception देना चाहिए, कैसा ये किया जाता है. So and when this question is put, then the Yamadutas say okay, they are servants of Dharmaraj, Yamaraj, they know the difference, so they might have heard so many times Yamaraj speaking, so they just tell that he so whatever is mentioned in scriptures, Veda Pranito Dharma. So whatever is mentioned in the scriptures, that constitutes dharma, and anything else apart from that is adharma. So how many of we follow dharma? How many of we follow dharma? सबको भगवत गीता सारा श्लोक पता है, सारा फॉलो कर रहे हैं ना, तो फिर धर्म फॉलो कर रहे हैं ना. सारा श्लोक नहीं पता है तो प्रॉब्लम है, यमदूता को देखना पड़ेगा. वेद प्रणीतो धर्म, ही अधर्म विपर्यय. So like that which is against the Vedic instructions is called adharma, right? So and then Vedo Narayana Sakshat. So what is this Veda? Veda is the Sakshat Narayana. So it is it is in some places the Vedic literature is called as Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma means the Supreme Lord in the form of sound. So that is the Vedic literatures. And this Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, these kind of Vedic literatures, it is not an ordinary song. Now when we chant these shlokas, it may appear to be like an ordinary song, but it is the form of the Lord. It's just like if you take mud, metal and things like that, and you make a murti out of it, and then you do pratishtha and you do worship. So that murti is as good as the Supreme Lord, right? So it is not anymore ordinary mud and metal and things like that. So in the same way, like the song may appear to be an ordinary song, but when it is used for reciting the Vedic scriptures, so then it is the Supreme Lord in the form of the song. So like it is Shabda Brahma. So like the Yamadutas, they say this is the dharma constitute, whatever is mentioned in the Vedas constitute dharma, and everything else is adharma. And then okay, fine. So like who's to be punished now? So whoever follows dharma, they should not be punished, but whoever follows adharma, they should be punished. But in general, what happens is, everybody is conditioned by modes of nature. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So what is the modes of nature? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, right? So these three modes, what they do, they literally dictate every single living entity. तुम ऐसा ही करना है. As like anybody has put a timetable saying that the liquor shops and things like that should be open only in the night time. Any government has put any rule like that? Why is it that they are active only at that time? Because pull of the modes, no? So like sadhu log, no, naturally like सुबह सुबह उठते हैं. Why don't शराबी log like naturally like सुबह उठ के शराब पीते हैं? Why don't they do like that? Because they cannot. No, the modes of nature is so strong. No, it just pulls a person to do like that. Just 24 hours, right? No, 24 hours. It is just a matter of this one. Like you just be active in the early morning and sleep in the late night. No, like sleep during the night. So what's great problem? So you tell a person in mode of ignorance, just make a little shift. No, why they buy also? It is not at all possible because his nature actually pulls him towards that particular time. The time which is in mode of ignorance, right? So he will be active only in the night. So like this is the nature of that particular mode. And in this way, the Yamadutas say, see, the people in general in this world are conditioned by three modes of nature, and they have to commit sinful activities. And every single person is committing sinful activity. हम तो आके सबको ले जाएंगे. कोई आज तक कोई हमें रोका नहीं है. हम आते हैं लेके जाते हैं. That's all. कोई भी मरे हम लेके जाते हैं उसको. So यमराज का पास. So then like this is what they actually explain. So and they very technically explain and very logically explain that this is the way the people actually commit sins, even though they know the Vedic scriptures. By the pull of the nature, they actually commit sinful activities, and we come and take them. So then, after they give this explanation, then the Vishnu Dutas say, so this is like complete adharma is happening. The people, it's just like you keep faith in the government, you keep faith in the government servants like police and things like that. So now you just go in the street, simply normally you're walking. Suddenly police comes and beats you, So how dangerous that kind of environment would be. Like the person who's supposed to protect me, he himself is trying to harm me. So then it becomes very difficult in an environment like that. It is like Hitler's kingdom or some kind of a Ravana's kingdom or something like that, So it becomes very difficult to live. So Vishnu Dutas are telling, so you people are supposed to follow Dharma, and you people are only like, not following Dharma. Now first Yamadutas accused Vishnu Dutas, and now Vishnu Dutas are accusing Yamadutas, saying that you people are following Adharma. So like everybody are taking shelter of Dharma. If somebody follows Dharma, so then he'll be protected. Dharma Rakshati Dharma. Rakshata, right? So one who follows Dharma, Dharma will protect him. Right? So like you people are only like going against Dharma. So who will, where will people go and take shelter of? So this is not very right. So then the Vishnu Dutas say, they start telling about the chanting of the names of the Lord, the glories of chanting of the names of the Lord. They tell that if somebody takes the names of the Lord, like greatest and greatest sinful activities, they get actually pardoned. So they give very elaborate description of the glories of the holy name. Right? So as it is mentioned, one of the things that is mentioned, Niharameva Bhaskara. So just like the sin is just like in other processes, in the cultivation of knowledge or performing of prayaschitta, for every single sinful activity, one has to perform prayaschitta. And so many different prayaschitta has to be performed. And the performance of the knowledge also is very, very difficult and austere. And taking of prasadam, honoring prasadam, is it very difficult? No. So it is very, very easy. बहुत आसानी से अंदर चले जाते हैं. So that is also devotional service. Somebody only takes prasadam, kevala bhakti, not takes anything else. Just takes prasadam. So that's amazing. Like he will destroy so much of sinful reactions. So like our FOE students, like all of you may have not thought that ki like हम पाप बुझाने के लिए आ रहे हैं, but automatically हो जाते हैं. So like it is just by honoring prasadam, just by taking darshan of the Lord, just by hearing the names of the Lord, it actually gets destroyed, right? So then they actually tell that, see this person, he has chanted the name of Narayan and in a very helpless condition and very, very, very deeply, like he has appealed to the Lord. So then Yamadutas say that, hey, Narayan को थोड़ी पूछा है, like बुलाया, किसको बुलाया वो? बेटे को. So he just called his son. So then Vishnu Dutas, they actually kind of respond saying that Narayan करके काफी लोग नाम रख सकते हैं. Anybody can keep the name Narayan. but then it doesn't become his name. So Narayan, originally the name belongs to the Supreme Lord. Now, whether to indicate the Lord or to indicate some other object, and in this way, like I always quote this example. In many places, I have seen this, signboard: Srinivasa wines, Balaji wines, Venkateshwara wines, and things like that. And, ये तो अधर्म है, but उसमें भी थोड़ा धर्म है. So, like, and दो शराबी like ये करते हैं कि like अभी बालाजी जाएंगे. And so अच्छा है like so शराब पीते पीते like थोड़ा बहुत जब भी कर लिया उन्होंने. उनको भी शायद आजा मिल जैसा खत्म हो जाएगा. So in that way, like India is a very very pious place. Even amongst sinful activities, so much of piety is there. So like it is गलती से भी like बहुत कुछ पुण्य कर सकते हैं. So so जानबूझ के पुण्य करना अलग बात है, but गलती से भी बहुत कुछ पुण्य कर सकते हैं. Like even by mistake, we can commit, we can perform so much of pious activities. So like that. So the Vishnu Dutas actually explained, this is supremely pious activity to chant the names of the Lord. So it is not an ordinary thing. So there is one nice principle that we always try to discuss upon, is that Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Navavet Grahyam Indriye. So by our endeavor, by our own plans, we cannot actually bring the names of the Lord in our tongue. It is not a very simple activity like that. In fact, after hearing this pastime, so one person, he wanted to get Sadgati, like he wanted to get a good destination. So then what did he do? Like, he started chanting the names of the Lord, and he used to go to very dangerous places. Construction site without any precaution, and then crossing railway track without any precaution, crossing roads without seeing anywhere, and like that, ऐसा करता था. But उसको मृत्यु नहीं आया. So then suddenly one day, like when he was going in a boat, the boat toppled, and it's like अचानक हो गया था. इस टाइम पे वो प्लान नहीं किया. So अचानक हो गया था, and then he started shouting like, please help me, save me, and things like that. तो लोग बचा के वापस लेके आए. And then, like they asked, like, you are trying to chant, you are trying to do various things, like, but then now you could have chanted. So why did you call for save me, help me, and things like that? So then he thought, like, abhi to Bhagwan ka naam yaad nahi aaya. So it is. So then this experiment actually proves that we cannot forcibly remember the Lord at the time of death. It is not possible. So in spite of that, if somebody is able to remember the Lord, what does it mean? What does it mean if somebody is able to remember the Lord? तो इसका मतलब क्या है? It's great mercy of the Lord actually. Without the Lord's mercy, it is not at all possible, for somebody to remember the Lord. So this Ajamil, like, maybe like because of his past activities, or maybe some devotees would have prayed for him, saying that, nalaik, thoda bhakt ban jaye, things like that. So maybe some kind of sukruti like that, somehow or other, like he could able to remember, or he could able to chant the names of the Lord, even by mistake, also to remember the names of the Lord. It's not an ordinary thing. And another very important thing that is noted in the scriptures is he chanted without offenses. So this is also very very important. So like if somebody thinks that okay, ये तो अच्छा बात हो गया, like अभी नाम जप करने में, like all the sins will get destroyed, so then it is good. I can go and eat non-veg, and then एक माला जप कर लेंगे, अच्छा है ना? A good solution, ना? So we can do some some sinful activity, and we can do one mala of japa, and it will get destroyed. Correct? No? होता है ना? होगा कि नहीं होगा? तो फिर धोखा हो गया. How can the scriptural statements be false? The scripture says, if you chant the names of the Lord, unlimited volumes of sins will get destroyed. And so I can plan to commit sin, and I can chant. So the scriptures must be right. Correct, na? Correct है कि wrong है? Huh? Must be wrong. Yeah. So the benefits of the chanting that are mentioned is of the benefits of offenseless chanting. So one of the offenses is namno balad yasahi papa buddhi. So like to think that the name of the Lord is as good as the Supreme Lord, and you cannot just play around with the Lord. Usko aisa like पाप धुलाने वाला like सोप जैसा like यूज नहीं कर सकते. थोड़ा पाप कर लिया अभी भगवान आ जाओ अगले दिन थोड़ा क्लीन करके चले जाओ. हमारा नौकर नहीं है. So but then out of his great mercy he cleanses the sins. So like this, one of the offenses is naam no bala yasahi papa buddhi, like to think that I'll commit a sin and I'll chant and neutralize it. So that kind of an intention is an offense. And offensive chanting doesn't produce results. So non-offensive chanting produces results. And here Ajamila, he did not thought that कि मैं like अभी हमारा यमदूत आ गए तो भगवान का नाम लेके सारा पाप धुला के like मैं स्वर्ग में जाऊंगा. No, he was not planning like that. No, he was intensely out of great like anxiety. He actually called out the names of the Lord, and it worked for him actually. So in this way, like the names of the Lord is really very powerful. And in every session, no wonder, like in all our sessions, we actually plan this, particular this one. Before starting the session, we do Kirtan, Hariksetra mantra, and after the session, like we do Japa and Kirtan, and then again Arati. During that time also the names of the Lord is chanted, and then like follow-up calls happen. So when the devotee is calling you, Hare Krishna, how are you, and things like that. So many times, like this Hare Krishna has been spoken about. It is not just some kind of an protocol, or not just some kind of an identity creation. हम लोग Hare Krishna वाले हैं, like उसको स्थापित करना चाहिए. So it is not some kind of an identity. There is a great importance behind it. Just by the remembrance of the names of the Lord, so much of benefits is there. And actually speaking, the real benefit of chanting the names of the Lord is not the destroying of the sins. The real benefit of chanting of the names of the Lord is we will develop attachment towards the Supreme Lord. This is the real benefit. So when we chant, dhire dhire karke, like we will actually become attached to the chanting, attached to the Lord and chanting the names of the Lord. So one important aspect, whenever we discuss about this prime subject, so one important aspect is what is the way to chant? What is the process of chanting? कैसा करते हैं chanting? क्या करना चाहिए chanting में?
Should be like conscious in our breathing and chant like.
Conscious about hearing the names of the Lord. That is the key thing. So chanting करना मतलब बोलना चाहिए, but then मन किधर भी रह सकता है, वैसा नहीं है. So when we chant and then we hear them very very clearly, then the process is very complete. And those of you who have done that, like you would have experienced something really wonderful, right? So it's really really very wonderful. So just chant and hear the names of the Lord very clearly. It makes tremendous effect actually. So that's like most of you would have felt a glimpse of that. And when we do this process nicely, it is generally what happens whenever people start. They really start very well. So but then after some time, they actually lose the like seriousness of the practice, or the right process and things like that. So this is something that we have to be very very conscious about, that the prime process of chanting is to hear the names of the Lord, right? So the prime process is to like hear them very very clearly. And just by doing this, it's really very powerful. Sometimes people come and ask, Prabhuji, अभी तो 6 महीना हो गया हमारा, तो बहुत कुछ हम लोग सीख लिया, और क्या नया है? So like so our answer is that, see, you have come to practice a yoga system. You go to any yoga institute, like even for that matter, like an exercise wala yoga jo hai, you go there. So they may teach you certain asanas, and after that you are expected to practice that every single day, right? So any yoga system, any spiritual practice means a standard procedures that needs to be repeated over and over and over again every single day, and that has to become solidly fixed in our schedule. So this chanting of the names of the Lord should be solidly fixed, and the quality of this chanting is also needs to be very solidly fixed, right? So we should endeavor. The mind's job, what will your mind do? The mind's job is to just distract you, saying that इतना दिन अच्छे से जप किया, आज एक दिन, थोड़ा और भी सोच लेते हैं. There are so many other things which needs your attention. And without you, this world will stop. No, like if you don't do this thing, no, kaun kara karega ye duniya ko? Like you are the only one who can actually save this world. So chanting to kar raha hai na, like chanting to kar raha hai, like man mein thoda aur soch lo. So this is important thing is there, that important thing is there, and things like that. So our standard, argument to this is the most important thing in the whole world is the chanting of the names of the Lord, right? So if the Lord actually decides to favor me, so like what is that? If Rake Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rake Ke, right? So if the Lord wants to help me, all the time thinking about how will I execute this particular thing, that particular thing. If Lord is going to favor me, I can very easily execute. So now is the time that I have to focus on this mantra and I have to properly give my attention towards this the process of chanting. So this is the primary process, and you might have also heard this sloka over and over again that Kritaya Dhyayato Vishnu Tretayam Yajato Mate Dvapare Paricharyayam Kalavtat Hariksetra. All of you have heard this sloka, right? So what is the meaning of this? In the Satya Yuga, the prescribed method of worship is Dhyayato Vishnu. So Vishnu ko dhyan karne ka. And in Treta Yuga it is fire sacrifice. In the Dwapar Yuga it is elaborate temple worship. And in Kali Yuga it is Nam Sankirtan, the chanting of the names of the Lord. So it's the most important practice in the Kali Yuga. And also apart from that, it is a very, very, very powerful element of bhakti, where just by the simple process of chanting and hearing, we can actually develop very intense spiritual qualities, and then we make sufficient progress in spiritual life. So with this I pause. Any questions or comments we can actually take. You all can also share some points if you have something in this. आपका नाम?
मेरा नाम सुरेश.
सुरेश.
When we are discussing Ramadas comes and take soul from our body, we feel pain. Is it like soul will feel pain or the body?
Body is a dead matter.
Yes.
Dead things cannot feel pain.
Only the soul.
Soul is the only one who can experience. Any other questions? Your name? Also,
I'm Shashkumar from UP. So my question is, I want a cycle. So how long it would be? Is it the end?
Yeah, end is there. If we perfect our life, if we finish all our sinful credits, then it becomes the end. Then you can actually go to Vaikuntha to stay permanently there. This is the path. You have gone to the right path. Right? So chanting the names of the Lord and studying Bhagavad Gita. So this month, it's a very, very important month where we are distributing Bhagavad Gitas in thousands. So as in the course of discussion, we mentioned the Yamadutas themselves, they mentioned this particular thing, that what constitutes Dharma? The scriptures constitute Dharma. And if we actually have, how many of you have Bhagavad Gita? Okay, nice. So those of you who don't have, please take a copy of Bhagavad Gita today and then try to read Bhagavad Gita every single day. And whatever is mentioned in that, is Dharma. And everything else apart from that is Adharma. Right? So, when we follow Dharma, so then we actually end the cycle of birth and death. If we have to continue in the cycle of birth and death, we have to commit Adharma. Tabhi ho sakta hai. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Shiva. So, my question was, what are the different books that were considered as scriptures? Because different scriptures says different things. If you consider Upanishad, that says different things. So some kind of unfair philosophy comes in that if we properly follow 11 Upanishads, right?
Upanishads? No, that is Advaita philosophy. The different philosophers, they actually give their opinion on the scriptures. So, but the scriptures in themselves are neutral.
But if you consider more Vedas as well, right?
That is also part of the scriptures.
But if you go to Atharva Veda, there are so many tantra mantras and those kind of teachings are given.
Okay.
So are those also comes under dharma?
Yeah. So there are different grades of dharma that is there. So there is, if you want, that's why in every scripture, the first question that will be asked is, who are you? No, who am I? And what is my duty? So this is the question that is asked. So the different scriptures give different answers. So one type of the scriptures are, if your goal is to be happy and prosperous in this world, so then there is a particular way of doing it. If your goal is to just get liberation, so then there is a particular set of dharmic instructions that are there. If the goal is to finish the business once for all, and then go back to your original position as the servant of the Supreme Lord, so then there is a set of scriptures which actually give the rules and regulations for that. So for every person with every kind of an inclination, there is sufficient instructions are there. So it doesn't mean that one scripture is wrong and another scripture is right. All scriptures, all the Vedic body of literatures, all of them are perfectly right. So but it is meant for different kinds of people. A person who wants to finish the business, finish my suffering once for all. I don't want to get any more suffering. I don't want to see this material world again. I just simply want to go back to the spiritual world. So then for him the bhakti, the scriptures are given.
Like there are so many gurus and like four sampradayas in Vaishnava also. There is Ramanuja Sampradaya, this Kumar Sampradaya, like other sampradayas are also like Madhava Sampradaya. So in like when you read the commentary, like in Vaishnava philosophy itself, there are so many variations, right?
Yeah.
And if we go like at the beginning, like the Bhagavad Gita was taken from Jayasa Gita, which is Mahabharata, right? So in that case, like the first person like who defeat the Buddhas was Sri Shankaracharya. So if you
Even before that, it was
there as a part of Mahabharata, but like
no. It is always there. So one of the solid proofs for Bhagavad Gita being existent, separate from Mahabharata, is very technical. This one. So the scriptures which are chanted and read and memorized again and again and again. So like those things, they actually have a solid manuscripts. Even now they have solid manuscripts. In the traditional way, if you see, like people used to write, handwritten things. And because of this handwritten, this ones, like you will find many different versions of Mahabharata. You will not find consistent Mahabharata, consistent, all through. Like, if you see different manuscripts. But Bhagavad Gita, if you find, like, you will not find almost zero variation. Across India, if you see, like, there is almost zero variation. This actually stands as a solid proof that Bhagavad Gita has been studied separately and memorized, and then it is repeated over and over again. Anybody would see any mistake in Bhagavad Gita anywhere, in the Mool Shloka. So immediately like they will reject, this is not right. But that's not the case with Mahabharata. Mahabharata is so much variations are there. That means it is not considered to be that important for people to memorize and chant and recite and things like that. So this goes to say, even before Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Gita was always revered as a very important scripture, and people have memorized and chanted and studied separately from Mahabharata.
Okay. So like if we just come to the point, like here if we go through the I have wrote some of them, like, not entirely, but like I have seen different of opinion. So if we see the Ramanujacharya Bhagavad Gita, Shankaracharya Bhagavad Gita, Madhva Bhagavad Gita, right? Three are having like completely different explanations and translation itself is the slope itself.
Perfectly okay. See, it's like now you're trying to describe. So if I am trying to describe you, like a person who has grey shirt, that's correct. And then maybe like some other features of yours, with slight beard or something like that, so little beard. So that another person is telling that. So both of it right only, no? Correct, right? So the explanations of different acharyas may be different. They are trying to describe the same absolute personality of Godhead, and he has multifaceted features. Nobody can completely describe all the features of the Supreme Lord or the Shabda Brahma, as we mentioned. So these Vedic scriptures, the sound vibration of Bhagavad Gita, the Shabda Brahma, it has many facets. So one Acharya may just describe one facet of the Bhagavad Gita. Even Srila Prabhupada himself told, I just wrote one commentary. I can write many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, explaining different angles. So that's perfectly okay.
But like in that case, philosophy may change, right?
No, philosophy doesn't change. Philosophy doesn't change. All the Vaishnava Sampradaya Acharyas, they accept Vishnu or Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and service to him is the ultimate profession. So that they will not deviate. Anyone else? Okay, two people can share some things that you liked in some points that you liked in the session. Who would be the first one to go? अरे कुछ याद नहीं है क्या? Some things that you heard? Yeah.
Hariksetra Prabhuji. Yeah. Whenever we chanting or any activity towards the Lord, we make sure it will be like service mode, because a lot of time we doing chanting or like kirtanam because of removing purpose or.
So we should try to do for the sake of pleasing the Supreme Lord. That's nice. Anyone else would like to share? Okay, yeah.
So knowingly or unknowingly, if we chant Supreme Lord in sense, our sins may get reduced. That's what I have made from this session.
So knowingly chant, it will become even more powerful. Very good, sir. So we will pause our discussion here. So thank you all very much for sincere attention. I know all of you might have traveled a long distance to come here, and you gave a very nice attentive listening, and hope this session would have helped you in some way. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.